So we want to welcome you once again to your show, Líderes del Futuro, here on KBBF 89.1 FM and on the web at kbbf.org. Today, we're going to have a little bit of information in regards to COVID. And what we want to make sure that you know is that individuals in the last 24 hours who tested positive, the number is 24. And this is at testing centers that the county has contracts with. So a lot of individuals are testing at home and they don't report those cases. And as a result of that, it makes it look like we're not in a bad situation. But at the same time, this is the time that we report to our community that two more individuals have passed as a result of COVID. And unfortunately, they did not make it to the end of the year, whether they celebrated Christmas or Kwanzaa or whatever it is, or they just wanted to see 2023, they're not going to be here. And it is important for us to think about this and to think about COVID from that point of view, right? Do we want to be here for the next high school graduation or college graduation of a loved one, their marriage, their first child, right? That baseball game, that soccer game, that basketball game? And by not taking care of our own health, are we denying our loved ones that future? So we want to remind you that 801 doses of the vaccine were administered over the last 24 hours, but not a single one of them was for people who had not been vaccinated before. It was people just getting a booster shot or their second or third vaccine. But other than that, not a single individual who has not gotten the vaccine got vaccinated for the first time in the last 24 hours. And the reason we need to bring this up is obviously because people need to take care of themselves to take care of everybody else. Right? And when people say, well, how do we know that those two people died from COVID? Well, maybe they died from a heart attack, or maybe they died from a brain aneurysm. But the initial causation was COVID. They got COVID, and maybe they had diabetes or asthma or some other illness. But if they had not gotten COVID, they wouldn't have gotten sick, and their lives wouldn't have ended. And so we want to remind you of the great importance of getting vaccinated, wearing masks when you go out into the community, washing your hands frequently, keeping your distance from other people as much as possible. And as I keep saying every week, if you go to a restaurant and you want to eat at the restaurant, wear your mask until your food is served. And then take off your mask, have your meal. And if you decide to stay there and continue a wonderful conversation, put your mask on again. And don't be concerned about people who may look at you funny as they do in my situation on a regular basis, either when I walk into a restaurant or when I decide to have a conversation after my meal with other individuals there, right? It's about my health and it's about the health of the people I have at home. And so we invite you to be conscious about this. We want to make sure that your family will be taken care of and will be okay next year, that they will too, and you as well, will be able to have a wonderful celebration, depending on what you celebrate each year around this time. And so we invite the community to, again, remember socoemergency.org. That's where you can get information about testing centers. That's where you can get information about the vaccine and where you can get it, whether it is the first time or the booster. And there's also a lot of information there about this cold season and where you can go to get some support with staying warm, right? The County of Sonoma has come up with different centers. They call them the warming centers. So we invite you to go to socoemergency.org to get that information. And if you don't have access to the internet, call 211 from your cell phone or your home phone, and you will get a direct line to a human being who will be able to provide you with that information. And that is the report for this week.